Hey friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is another YouTube double header, which means that I'm joining with my friend Angie Holden to offer you a bunch of free sublimation files for Christmas. If you're watching the premiere and you're here live, welcome. Angie and I are over in the chat talking with you. If you have any questions, please ask them. If you're watching the replay, we are so glad you're here as well. In my video today, I'm going to be sharing 5 easy projects that you can make with these free sublimation files. Of course, you can use any sublimation files to make these projects, but this is just kind of a quick overview of what you can actually make in a very short period of time. Of course, you're going to need the sublimation files for this video. So I recently moved over to what I'm calling a craft library. So I used to have an individual download for every download on my blog, and it was getting very clunky and heavy. So recently I switched over to a craft library. The craft library contains all the free files from my YouTube channel and my blog, which at this point I think is close to 600 free files all in one place. To access this bundle of free Christmas sublimation files, all you need to do is go to heyletsmakestuff.com/library. There you can request the password. Once you have the password, you can go ahead and go back to heyletsmakestuff.com/library, log in, and then this is sublimation file S17. So there are 2 ways to find this in my library. When you first sign in, you'll see a bunch of buttons, and one of those will say sublimation. This will take you to all the free sublimation files I have in my library. It'll just jump you down the page, and there it should be toward the top depending on when you're watching this video, and it's S17. If you're on a computer, you can also use Control F if you're on a PC or Command F if you're on a Mac, and just search for S17, and that will take you right to the file. Then click on that first link and the zip should automatically download to your computer. If you click on the second link, you'll actually go to the blog post for this video, but really you just want those files, so make sure you click that first link for the download. Then feel free to go through my library and find other things that you'd like to download. Like I said, I've got all these sublimation files. I also have tons of Cricut and Silhouette SVGs. I've got laser ready files, and I have printables. There is so much for you to download all in one place, and it's all for free. If you ever have difficulty accessing anything in the library, go ahead and just give me an email at hello@heyletsmakestuff.com and we will get you taken care of. So what kind of projects are we going to make today? I chose 5 pretty easy projects that I can make with my traditional heat press. You can also use an easy press. Just make sure that you're using firm pressure as well as a firm mat underneath. I found that the easy press mat is a little too squishy, so you want something a little more firm under there, but you can use an easy press. So what are we going to make today? I have 5 sublimation ready blanks here. The first is an apron. I've got a pot holder. I've got a baby onesie bodysuit, a garden flag, and a tote bag. All of these work really nicely in this flat press, and they're really easy to make. I've also already printed all 5 designs on my Sawgrass printer, but I want to pop really quickly into Sawgrass Printmate so you can see how I did it. One of the nice things about Sawgrass Printmate is that you can upload multiple files at the same time. So I've actually uploaded all 5 of my files to print at the same time. So you can see here I've got 3 on my first page, I've got a larger image on my second page, and I've got an even larger image on my third page. Because I wanted a few of these images to be quite large, I am using my 11x17 feature of this Sawgrass SG100. If you're using a smaller printer, of course, you may not be able to print this big, but because I'm making something like a garden flag and this big tote bag, I really wanted those big images. You can see over here on the left where I have each of my files uploaded and resized. I made sure to crop to image area because if there's any white space around the image, it can mess with your sizing. So I almost always click crop to image area. I have everything uploaded here, and you can see them all over here. Then I scrolled down and selected polyester as my product material. I made sure I was on that tabloid sized paper, and then I hit print. And once they were printed, I went ahead and cut down all the images so they're ready to press. But we also need to know what else we're going to need for this project. So like I said, I have all my blanks here. I have my heat press. I'm also going to need a lint roller. I'm going to need some heat resistant tape, and I'm going to need butcher paper. So I say this in all my videos, but I really like the flat sheets of butcher paper versus the big roll of butcher paper. I just find it a little bit easier to work with. But if you have the butcher paper on a roll, it's totally fine too. Let's swap over to that overhead view and make our project. Start by lint rolling your project to remove any dust and debris. Then open up your heat press and pre-press your project for 15 seconds. This will help remove any moisture and the wrinkles so that you'll have a smooth pressing surface. Then flip your design over and tape it to your blank using heat-resistant tape. Tape it really well on all 4 sides. Add a piece of butcher paper to the bottom of your press to protect your press. You may need 2 pieces of paper if you're using an extra large blank. And then place your project in your press. Then place a piece of butcher paper or two on top of your project to prevent the blowout of the ink through the paper and onto your press. Press your project at 375 for 50 seconds, and then carefully peel back your paper to reveal your final design. Oh, I love this one. It turned out so cute, this little Santa flag. Oh, he's really cute. Next up is our apron. We're gonna do it basically the same way. Start by lint rolling your project to remove any dust and debris. Then pre-press your apron in your heat press for about 15 seconds. You may want to pre-press the entire apron, including the parts you're not sublimating, to get those wrinkles out. Use heat-resistant tape to tape your image to your blank. Then open up your press and make sure you have that piece of butcher paper down on your press to start. Place your apron and then add another sheet of butcher paper on top to protect your press from that ink blowout. And then press for 60 seconds at 400 degrees. Peel back that paper to reveal your image. Oh, this is a really cute apron. It's perfect for your little cookie crew. Next up is the baby bodysuit. Again, we're going to lint roll it to make sure we don't have any dust and debris. Then pre-press that baby bodysuit for about 15 seconds just to remove the moisture and give yourself a flat working surface. To prevent the ink from going to the back of the garment, put a piece of butcher paper inside your bodysuit. This will just help protect that back side of the garment. Then place your transfer face down on your baby bodysuit and secure it with heat-resistant tape on all 4 sides. This baby bodysuit is the same as the last project, 60 seconds at 400 degrees. You want to lay your bodysuit flat out on the bottom plate and then add a piece of butcher paper to protect your press. Peel back the carrier sheet to reveal this adorable Christmas onesie. Next up is our tote bag. Go ahead and lint roll it to remove any dust. And then like our other projects, we're going to pre-press for 15 seconds. This will give us that nice pressing surface. I found that this particular blank had a lot of moisture in it, so I ended up pressing it for 15 seconds and then 15 seconds again. Then like with the baby bodysuit, insert a piece of butcher paper inside the bag so that you don't get any bleed through. And then flip over your image and use that heat-resistant tape to tape on all 4 sides to adhere your image to your bag. This one's also 60 seconds at 400 degrees. This blank is slightly thicker, so you may need to reset your press a little bit just to accommodate that thicker blank. Place that piece of butcher paper over the top to protect your press, and press. Peel back that paper to reveal your merry and bright image. Next up is our pot holder. Again, we are going to lint roll it to remove any hair or dust or debris. Then we're going to pre-press for 20 seconds. Again, this one was a little thick, so I had to adjust my press here, but then I pressed it for 15 seconds. I have to say that was very hot when it came out of the press, so you may need to let it cool for a little bit. Go ahead and tape your image to your blank on all 4 sides. You can ignore my cell phone there, which I didn't move out of the picture. Place your project in your press, and this one we're going to only press for 50 seconds at 400 degrees. Peel back that paper, and oh my goodness, what an adorable pot holder we have. I just checked the timer on my camera and it hit 1 hour, which means that I made all of these projects plus did all of the filming of the beginning part of this video in less than an hour. I've made 5 projects. That is how fast sublimation is, and it's one of the reasons I really like it. Let's take a closer look at what we've made. So first I have this gnomey Santa flag. Is he a gnome? Is he Santa? I'm not really sure. He's really cute, that's all I know. He's perfect for Christmas. Next up is this adorable cookie baking crew apron, and this I realized is a kid's size apron, so it's even more perfect. Oh, I love it. So cute, but I have to tell you what I did. So this is the second apron I made because I put the image on upside down on the first one that I did. So just so you know, you're not the only one making mistakes. I do this professionally, and I made this mistake. I was also out really late last night at a concert, and I'm exhausted. So, cookie baking crew on this apron, not looking so great. And then I made this cute little oh snap onesie with this adorable little gingerbread guy. So cute. I actually really love how this tote bag turned out. This is the first time I've actually used this particular blank, and I love it. It looks really, really good. This has that sort of linen feel. I'm gonna have to make more of these. Very nice. And then of course we made our little merry, 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 merry pot holder. Before we wrap up, I wanted to show you one more thing. So I mentioned many times to use that butcher paper, and I think you'll be able to see this on the camera. You can see that oh snap image has blown through the paper and onto the butcher paper. If I hadn't used butcher paper, this would have ended up on my press, and then the next time I went to press a project, I might get this little ghost of this oh snap gingerbread image. This is why it's really important to use that butcher paper when you're doing sublimation. I really hope you enjoyed this video today. Make sure you go and grab those free Christmas sublimation files. Again, they are S17 in my craft library. Go ahead and go back to the beginning of this video if you need to know how to access that. If you haven't already, make sure you go back and watch Angie's video. She is also giving you a bunch of free Christmas sublimation files, plus ideas on how to use them. If you have any questions, please leave those down in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them. As always, I would love a like if you found this video helpful or inspiring. Follow my channel for more sublimation, Cricut, and laser content. I'll see you next week.